So this is the Lotus Temple. It's the first Baha'i temple. Yeah, this is a follow-up to my last video. A little bit more about, because the Baha'i religion really came from Iran. And this is in India. Just try to look at this through the biblical lens, because it all proves the Bible. It does. The concept of the unity of mankind, this is more about the Baha'i religion, is seen by Baha'i as an ancient truth. It is the starting point for many of the ideas. The equality of races and the eliminations of extremes of wealth and poverty, for example, are implications of that unity. Doesn't it sound like, it sounds like the UN and the World Economic Forum. So see, this is where it's kind of hard, because all of that sounds good. And there's so many people in the world that say, well, we want world peace. Right. If you believe in the Bible, then you should realize that is not possible. Did God want us to be at war? No. No. No, he wanted us to try to get along with our neighbors and all of that. But that there would be not until Jesus returns and clears away the terrorists, the scumbag, all the people, that really are easy to see nowadays. And many of those people are the ones that carry on about world peace and world unity. It's not possible. It's unrealistic. And every time people try to bring this, especially, it's always your most wealthy, or they get into power. And what ends up happening, I mean, it's good to work towards peace, but to have this one world peace, nobody's in poverty, everybody's, that's all socialism, and there's no such, socialism leads to communism. It's just a jumping board there. That's why it's wicked people that are behind the UN and their agenda. It is. The world, all these elites, it's sick. Another outgrowth of the concept is the need for a united world federation. Yeah, that's what the Baha'i religion, and it goes way back. It goes way back into Muslim traditions, into Indian traditions. And I'm not bashing, if this is your religion, then fine. I'm just saying this to Christians. This should be this is total prophecy, all of it. I mean, there is a real reason why in the Old Testament, not the New, but that God was keeping the people away from certain countries and certain sects of people, or he'd have them go in and kill them because they were sacrificing children. They'd have children, sacrifice them, eat them, do all this crazy stuff because they had been influenced by all these gods to think that that was okay. And God was really clear that, and what would happen is exactly what God said, is that if my people go in and mingle with them, it may seem like that's the nice thing to do, but what will happen is you will take on those traditions that is seen throughout history, okay? Where all of a sudden it's okay to do this. That's the reason why they're grooming the public to accept children changing their genders, because then they can groom you to accept pedophilia. Okay, this is all prophecy playing out. Whether you don't have to see that, but it is. So this is obviously the world's religion, and it's all about we're all one and we're all balls of light. I talked about this, yesterday or the day before. Yeah, that's what it gives me the heebie-jeebies. It does. When people, I know it seems like, oh no, we should be positive. I'm a positive person, but I'm realistic too. And this is too far. Oh, we're going to have this nice peace, and people buy this, and it's like, and yet those are the same people that want to bash the Bible. It's like the Bible says what happens when you let people do this. Let's see. And some practical recommendations to encourage its realization involve the establishment of a universal language, a standard economy and system of measurement, universal compulsory education, and an international court of arbitration to settle disputes between nations. Nationalism, according to this viewpoint, should be abandoned in favor of allegiance to the whole of humankind. So this is all UN. You recognize the wording, right? Don't you? I've talked. This is why collectivism sucks. It does. It just does. Because this is what collectivism is. We do the same thing. We all believe the same thing. No, and so I had said the other day, the reason I was questioning that Aubrey Marcus and like your Rogans and that kind of thing is because, and not questioning them, but questioning this path they're following, this globalist, path, is that what happens if you don't transcend? What happens if you don't? Like, you know what I mean? So because they want everybody to do the same thing. That's, to me, that's the opposite of what God asks of us. Yes, should we get along with our neighbors? Sure. But to carry on like you're a God and that all people can come together and create world peace. No, God was very clear that that likely would not happen because of each and every one of our own faults. And the people that come up with this kind of stuff, this is a perfect example of it. That because it sounds good on the surface of it, but where it can lead is disastrous outcomes. Nationalism, according to this viewpoint, okay, I read that, can be abandoned with regard to the pursuit of world peace. Balala prescribed a world-embracing collective security arrangement. Collective security arrangement. A Bala manuscript copy sent to Baha'i in Iran some years after its writing in 1873. He arranged for its first publication in Bombay, India. Parts of the text were translated to English. Yeah, this, and then it says here, along with synopsis and codification were published in 1973 by the Universal House of Justice at the centennial anniversary of its writing. The full authoritative English translation, along with clarifying texts from Valhalla and detailed explanatory notes from Universal House of Justice, was first published in 1992. So I showed that picture in my last video of the Universal House of Justice. This is the Universal House of Justice. They may have more than one, I'm not sure. But this is in Haifa, Israel. Okay? And this is the Baha'i Gardens. That's looking down on Israel, isn't it? That's in Haifa, Israel. Yeah, so it just reminds me of the Old Testament. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. This is why God was like, yeah, you got to be careful. You know, it's not a racist thing here. It's about if you're going to take on, then you're going to have wars because you're never going to agree on this stuff. Like, the Quran's never going to agree with the Bible, but vice versa, because they're in total opposition. So for the UN and the World Economic Forum to get into all these countries and create and we're going to all come together, and yet this one is secretive. They don't even want to tell the Israeli citizens about their traditions. Of course they don't, because it's a globalist plan. But it's unrealistic. That's it's as unrealistic as the 17 unsustainable development goals, because those are unrealistic. To think you're going to bring all religions together is ludicrous. For anybody to believe that's possible should tell you that those are the people you don't want in charge of bringing peace to the world. A little bit more about the Universal House of Justice. It is 9 members supreme ruling body of the Baha'i faith. It was envisioned by Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, as an institution that could legislate on issues not already addressed in the Baha'i writings, providing flexibility for the Baha'i faith to adapt to changing conditions. It was first elected in 1963 and subsequently every 5 years by delegates consisting of the members of the Baha'i National Spiritual Assemblies throughout the world. So this one, let me go back. This is just one of many. That looks like Congress here, right? So it says, yeah, consisting of the members of Baha'i National Spiritual Assemblies throughout the world. Oh, yeah, how long have we already been under the globalist plan? The administrative center of the Baha'i faith and the shrine of Bab are located at the Baha'i World Center in Haifa, and the leader of the religion is, I already read that in my last video. So I'll probably have to do a little bit more because there's a little bit more into this, maybe. But yeah, all the globalist plan, all going back to Iran.